Buddy, welcome back. It is From the Pocket with your host, Jake, and Christian over there. Coming at you live on Wednesday. It's been a pretty busy day for me, Christian. How's your week going?
Not too bad. I went to the movies.
What'd you
Saw
see?
two movies. The Wild Robot, two kids movies, The Wild Robot and Transformers One. Both have been. I think Transformers One's been out longer.
Mhm.
It gave like a little origin story of like
Oh, yeah, with Megatron and Optimus Prime, right?
yeah. I think they
Yeah.
changed it up a little bit, but yeah, I think both movies were very good. Wild Robot was more of like uh, about motherhood and parenting. So that was fun. And then Transformers was just like action and
Hell yeah.
kids movie. Yeah. So both I'd recommend. Those are were very good movies. So
Yeah, I heard the Wild Robot made a lot of people what they call ugly cry.
I teared up a little bit. It was a not I'm not a big crier, but like I started to feel myself tear up a little bit, but I didn't cry. But yeah, it was a good movie.
All right. Well, I'm glad for you. Yeah, I've just been working. It's kind of what it's been doing these wedding plans. You know how that
Yeah.
be. That thing I got coming up. That second wedding I got coming up. I've already already done it, so now I got to do it again with the church. But either way, I digress. Yeah,
Yeah.
we got a great podcast here. We're gonna hit all the essentials. We're gonna go over the week 5 games. Big crazy week 5. Have a lot of thoughts about some of these games. We obviously have some news with Robert Saleh getting fired in the Jets, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. As always, Christian will give his tiers, the vibe rankings. They just come to him. He he just blacks out and wakes up and they're there. I'll do my 5 bets for the week. Talk about last week and how horrific it was, how just bloody it was, and then we'll, as always, close the game out with picking our week 6 predictions. So, Christian, without further ado, you ready to start?
Yeah, let's
All
get
right.
it.
How do you want to do this? You want me to go through it this time, or you want to do the speedy week 5 recap?
Yeah, I'll let you do it this time.
Oh, all right, cool. I guess I'll start a timer for myself, and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so NFL Week 5. It started Thursday night with the Bucks and the Falcons, and
Very game.
it was crazy to come away from the previous Thursday night game against the Cowboys and Giants, which was one of the worst games I think I've ever seen in my life, and then to get just this treat of a game, back and forth, always in doubt, constantly both teams scoring, big comeback drive at the end, and then overtime, big play by the
Falcons
Falcons to take care of it.
almost blew
They
that
did,
game.
they did, but they pulled it out, and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
this it was nice because it was definitely a spot where it felt like one of these teams could get exposed, right? Which of these teams is fraudulent, not as good as we think, and I think both these teams proved they're real, like they're
Yeah.
cut out for who we think they should be. Baker Mayfield's been balling. Kirk Cousins just feels like this Falcons offense
Threw
is
for
getting better week
500
by week.
yards.
Yeah, so good for the Falcons. You got anything else on this one, Christian?
Nah, I mean, other than the final seconds before the overtime was just terrible. Like, well, it was like good offensive execution to 12 seconds left. Drake London doesn't immediately go down, but he tries to get some extra yards, and they were feeling themselves. They did it. 12 seconds. They spiked the ball and took a delay of game. And Youngway, who wasn't great this game, he did. I mean, he did end up hitting what was like a 51 yarder. Could have been like a 40 something, like 46, 47 or whatever. But he knocked it down, and then Kirk Cousins in that offense took care of the rest in overtime. But yeah, other than that though,
All right, and then we get to our Sunday games. I hope you woke up early because we had a game in London between the Vikings and the Jets.
I woke up and this game was 17-0.
Yeah, it was a weird game because Aaron Rodgers throws a pick 6 early. Jets take Vikings jump out to that early 17-0 lead, and then they don't really do much else. They get a couple
I mean,
field goals.
the offense wasn't great.
The Jets mount a comeback and comes down to the wire. Aaron Rodgers at the 8-yard line throws an interception. Game blouses kind of at that point.
I mean, great play by Gilmore there.
Yeah, Vikings hold on for the win. They go 5-0, and the Jets. Well, we're going to talk about them in a little bit, but they fired their head coach on Tuesday, and we'll see where they go. They are 2-3 now. Oddly enough, I guess second place in that division, but tied with the Dolphins.
Tied with the Dolphins, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess good for them. All right, so we move on to quick blowout here. The Bears played the Panthers in Chicago. Panthers get out to a 7-0 lead to start out the game, and the Bears just outscored them 37-3, 27-7 at half. It was just never really in doubt. Caleb Williams has his by far best game just as a pro, or at least as far as a win goes. Statistically speaking, though, he was also really, really good. He was 20 for 29, 300 yards. I think I heard a stat. It was like Justin Fields. He has as many 300-yard games now as a Bear as Justin Fields, Rex Grossman, Jay Cutler, and Kyle Orton or something. Like all of them in their Bears tenure only had one 300-yard game or something, and he's got
Jay Cutler is crazy.
Now. Maybe he's got two now, but
because he did have one earlier this year. Yeah, threw like 50 times.
And I have a few thoughts on really kind of Caleb Williams, just because he did against the Colts. He had 360 yards, so I guess the stat was he's had two, but. I guess just really quick, all those people who were saying, this team made a mistake moving off of Justin Fields for Caleb Williams. I hope you see how silly you sound after what we've seen this week. These people would give Justin Fields 3 years to show you nothing, and they were going to give Caleb Williams 3 games. So, I just want to say that. I just want to speak my piece on that, but I digress. We move on. Anything else on this game? Sorry.
No, just very good game.
We move on to what was this one might have been one of the. I mean, this is not only probably one of the best games of the week. This was maybe the best game of the year thus far. The Ravens and the Bengals just dueling it back and forth. Ravens jump out early. Bengals though they really held their own after the start. They had a 2-possession lead at 3 separate times in this game. Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson tie for 9 touchdowns. An incredible performance from both quarterbacks, from both offenses. Defensively, you weren't doing much.
The Bengals haven't been great, and I don't know what's going on with this Raven. Well, I feel I think it's like what we've been saying throughout the year. Defense, the coach is leaving, personnel's a little bit different, and it's just not finding finding that groove just yet.
And the Bengals too at that end. They've
been terrible all year.
Their defense is just bad. Joe Burrow, I mean, he's playing like an MVP. And his team's 1-4. Very sad, but this game was heartbreaking for the Bengals. Again, they had a 10-point lead. Joe Burrow throws an untimely interception at the end. The Ravens tie it with Justin Tucker hitting a field goal that he hasn't been able to hit in so long. Lamar fumbles it in overtime, sets the Bengals up, and the Bengals missed a field goal. Derrick Henry breaks a long run, and that's all she wrote. They win 41-38 and go 3-2. They are now tied for first place in this division with the Steelers, who also lost, and the Bengals drop down to 1-4, as we said.
And the Browns are the Browns.
Yeah. Bills traveled to Houston.
Weird
game.
Terrible game. I don't know how Josh Allen went 9 for 30. And they made it somewhat of a game. That's crazy.
So this was a 20-3 game, and in the third quarter, the Bills went on back-to-back touchdown drives and made it 20-17, and it kind of stayed there for a while, and then at some point they tied it. Then the ending of this game was just pitiful coaching, terrible clock management. They're backed up deep in their own territory at like the 5 or something. And they decide to try to pass it with like 30 seconds left instead.
They all passes, right?
Yeah, instead of winding the clock and playing for overtime. Josh Allen might have had a concussion. We'll see kind of how that goes. And they end up having to punt it to Houston from deep inside their own territory. Houston gets it. They're able to set up in field goal range and kick a 59-yard field goal. They win the game outright in regulation. So very questionable situational decision-making by the Bills. But the Texans hold on, kind of got outscored in that second half, really had an opportunity to lose this game, and they found a way to win it at home. So quality win for the Texans. Good for them. Yeah. And then we go to the Colts and the Jaguars, another great game. Division rivalry too, 37-34, just very back and forth. Joe Flacco wheeling and dealing. Jaguars, I think the Colts tied it up 34-all, and then the Jaguars got into field goal range, kicked the game-winning field goal, and that was all she wrote. So,
yeah,
good for the Jaguars. The Colts looking good with Joe Flacco, but Shane Steichen staying really firm. This is Anthony Richardson's team.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
All right, this is your game, Christian. The Dolphins and the Patriots. I gotta say, I did not watch this game. Did not see any of this.
I had it on instead of watching Red Zone, and it was awful. This is bad. This was just a bad game.
Yeah.
Every time I turn on this team, it's just bad. So, I mean, congrats, we got the win. Happy about there. Good. On the road, it's pretty good. We're 2-3. The Bills lost, the Jets lost, and we beat the Patriots. So, I mean, we're still in this thing, but I mean, not too hopeful. But yeah, a win's a win. I'll take it.
Hey, you're going into your bye week.
Yeah,
you got one game before Tua can come back, and the Jets and the Bills are playing each other this weekend. So one of them is going to lose outright, and the Patriots are playing the Texans. So, hey, one of these teams is about to be, I feel like y'all are in it. Y'all are just the NFC East is kind of coming back down to reality since the Bills started kind of skidding a little bit. Yeah. And I feel like it's setting you up with an opportunity. You get a win like this, maybe you upset the Colts somehow, some way. Even at 2-4, I think you guys are fine. But the Patriots, y'all season's over. I don't care if you start Drake May next week. I'm excited to see Drake May. I'm excited to see him. But
he's playing the Texans.
Yeah.
And he gets the Texans at home, but that's
tough.
Rough.
That's gonna be tough. But we'll see. All right, we get to a blowout. The Commanders and the Browns. The Commanders rolled the Browns up, but the Browns just continue to look absolutely broken and
will
depressing.
not. And Kevin Stefanski, I saw at the end of the game, was like, we're not changing the quarterback. And I'm like, what? I'm just so baffled by this decision. Like, I mean, I'd imagine they had. I don't care. Like, he's not winning you games. He's a detriment to this team.
He is.
You have at least throw Jamin. I'm not saying he's permanently benched, but you owe it to the team to at least like put him out there and see what you got.
John Middlecoff said on 3 and Out podcast, y'all should check it out. It's really good. He's a former scout. He said Deshaun Watson might be the worst player in the NFL. And I don't think he's wrong. Like, I think he said if Deshaun Watson, if just hypothetically, it's not going to happen, but hypothetically, if the Browns cut him tomorrow, he would never play in the NFL again. He's like, no team would ever sign him.
Yeah.
And it's true. Like, this is a horrific situation for the Browns. Talk a little bit more about it. But for the Commanders, dude, how good are the vibes right now for the Washington Commanders? New owner, new coach, Jaden Daniels wheeling and dealing too. Like, the Commanders really got a gem of a season on their hands. You got to see if they can keep it up. Feels like maybe it could not be sustainable. Jaden Daniels, you got to stay healthy. But for now, their defense getting better week after week. Jaden Daniels continues to just have a super high scoring offense. You love to see it. All right, division rivalry, the Broncos and the Raiders. This was Raiders' game early. Like, the Raiders were up 10-0, I think, 10-3, and Gardner Minshew and them are rolling in to go up 17-3, and he throws a pick six, and it just totally flips the game. Just absolutely flipped the game. And from that point on, it was the Broncos game. They outscored them 24-8. Good for the Broncos. Just dominating win against the division rival, the Raiders. Looking a little lost. Kind of this collapse again, and it's a lot of people questioning if Antonio Pierce is really that guy, pal. Well, kind of something to keep an eye on. Meanwhile, the Devontae Adams drama continues. We'll see where he ends up.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think he's announced a starter.
Yeah.
Hasn't announced it yet, and so,
Yeah, no, that was a good point to make too. Is they're having a quarterback battle between Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, so we'll see who gets to get the start there. All right, we have another division rivalry, the Cardinals and the Niners. Cardinals pull off the upset, down 23-10. The 49ers, they lose their kicker, and it really just messes up their ability to score and kick field goals. And the Cardinals take advantage, and they squeak out a win, 24-23.
Brock Purdy wasn't great in this game.
No, he wasn't. But the Cardinals, they get to 2-3, and they drop the Niners to 2-3.
Yeah.
So Seattle still leads that division despite losing to the Giants this week. We'll talk about it in a second. But yeah, a little bit. I still think the Niners are going to win this division, but definitely a little. I say that there was a couple years ago, if you remember, they started 3-4, had a bad loss to the Falcons, and everybody's like, "What's wrong with the Niners?" And then the next time they lost was literally the NFC Championship. So, I don't know. I don't know if it matters. All right, we go to LA. The Packers played the Rams. I really felt like this was another weird game because the Packers jumped out early with a nice drive. But from that point on, it really did feel like the Rams just dominated and held control of this game. Had a couple of bad breaks here and there. Can't complete their game-winning drive at the end. And the Packers hold on. It's unfortunate for the Rams. They really needed this. They're now 1-4. Luckily, they're only a game behind the Niners and the Cardinals. They beat the Niners, but yeah, turning out to be a tough season for the Rams. As for the Packers, hey, Jordan Love just continues to kind of shake off that rust. So, if you're a Packers fan, you got to like what you're seeing so far. All right, we'll go to the Giants and the Seahawks. The Giants upset the Seahawks 29-20. And look, I'll be honest.
This is my bet.
It was a lot of pros bets. Like, I wouldn't feel bad about it. It's just a tough one, but
Aaron Jones kind of bold.
Dude, I got to be honest. Like, it was 29-20. I feel like this game was not even this close. I feel like the Giants just don't. Like, that fumble, maybe I'm just wrong. And it's fine if I'm just wrong. That fumble that their running back had at the beginning of the game, the Giants went on this long drive to open up the game, and their running back fumbles it on the goal line.
Tyrone Tracy?
Yeah, and the Seahawks pick it up and run it back for a touchdown, and it stood. They said, yeah, we're good. We're going to let that stand. I did not think it was a fumble. I did not. I thought he was over the line. I was confused. I thought it was kind of trash because it was one of those where they're like, we're going to let it ride. And then they're like, well, we don't have enough evidence to overturn the call in the field. And it's like.
That's the rule.
I guess. Like, I really. The Giants made up for it. They had a blocked punt, a blocked field goal at the end, and that really separated them. But I really felt like the Giants. I just felt like they dominated this game. I felt like the Seahawks looked like they were in over their heads, kind of had some expectations coming into this. Giants off extended rest. And, good for the Giants. Getting a good win. A lot of people.
7 sacks.
Had 7 sacks, so.
Did this without Malik Neighbors, too. I was shocked.
Yeah, they did.
I didn't know Malik Neighbors
I think Devin Singletary was out, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're starting running back. Like,
I mean, that rookie Tyrone Tracy looked pretty good. 5th round pick out of Purdue.
Outside of that fumble, it's trash.
Yeah.
And then
18 carries, 129 yards. Just saying.
That's pretty good. We go to Sunday Night Football. Sunday night, where my Cowboys played the Steelers, and the latest start in the history of the sport is what I understand. Rain delay that delayed the game for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Hour and a half.
Dude, it was almost 10 o'clock, and it wasn't even halftime yet. And I was just like, I'm bored. This game isn't really intriguing.
It was a boring game for most of it. The ending was super exciting, but most of the game was boring.
Congratulations to Dak.
Yeah.
And an interception on the first player in Buzzer to throw an interception on 2 different days.
And a touchdown.
All right. Yeah. I think that's the memeable thing we'll say about this game. But no, I mean, to have 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, and a fumble, all mostly in the red zone, and to come back, was it fourth and goal or whatever?
Yeah, it was 4th and goal.
Seconds to go. Dak hits Tolbert.
Yeah, Jalen Tolbert on an out route just scores. Game over. Led a game-winning drive against a really good defense. I know a lot. Like, I saw Chris Sims was like, we got to start talking about this defense is not as good. And I'm like, dude, they forced 3 turnovers, 2 of them in the red zone. They had a blocked field goal.
Yeah.
Like, you can't sit here and tell me because they gave up
It's
20
rough.
points after that. Like, no, dude. Justin Fields had a bad night. And again, I'm not here to criticize Justin Fields and say, he's a bum, but like he had a bad night. Their defense did not lose them this game. So, but good for the Cowboys. I was happy they got the win. Steelers really no excuse to lose this though. You had a beat up Cowboys team on the road. Your defense again set you up perfectly with multiple turnovers, blocked field goal, and the offense did score what should have been probably a game-winning touchdown, but you can't only put up 17 points when you've got all this just laying on a plate for you. So, I think the Steelers should be a little concerned about their inability to run the ball. They did not really do a good job of running the ball. I think they had like 92 yards or something on something like 20 some odd carries. It's just not good enough. Not good enough. So, that's something they got to figure out and fix. But all in all, happy for the Cowboys got the win. And then we go to Monday Night Football. Just nothing to really talk about. The Chiefs just worked the Saints for 4 quarters. Won this game pretty convincingly. Never really in doubt. Juju Smith-Schuster had 130 yards. Kareem Hunt had 100 yards rushing. This defense just looks really good as it did last year. So Chiefs are 5-0. They're the only 5-0 team in the AFC. They're one of 2 5-0 teams in the NFL with the Vikings. And good for them. Good for Patrick Mahomes. I mean, they just win. You said it to me, Christian. You texted it to me. This team kind of feels like the Patriots, where they're like, look, we're not going to wow you offensively. We're going to just play smart, boring football offensively. We're going to be really good defensively, and we're just going
so annoying.
And we're just going to be really good situationally, and we're going to win all of our games doing that. And the Patriots show it is. The Patriots show that's how you win Super Bowls and a bunch of games in the NFL, but as a consumer, obviously boring and a real bummer too, because
you saw Chiefs on prime time. It was like
must watch TV, watch TV.
And now it's just not.
It's like, oh, okay, I guess
it's like they'll like Patty like they'll. This is how a Chiefs game goes. So they get the ball, they go down and score or whatever. Like it looks great. Like offense is humming. It's just, and then they get in this little funk here and there. And they'll kick some field goals. Patty will throw an interception, whatever. And defense just carries most of the game. And they'll have a few more drives in the second half where they score or whatever. And then that's it. And then that's it. And then they win. And it's just like, man, I miss when the Chiefs were putting up had to put up more than 28 points because their defense couldn't stop anybody.
Yeah, and again, like I don't want to what the Chiefs are doing. I do really respect it.
Yeah, I respect it.
I agree with you. It makes me sad because of what it used to be. This Chiefs team used to be just must-watch football, and now that's just. I know Patrick Mahomes talks about wanting to get back to there. I think the NFL in general, it's very hard to do that with the current meta. Because you're just going to play cover 2, take away the top with two safeties, and we're going to make you drive the field. We're going to make you drive the field on us 20-20, and we're going to try to hold you to field goals, and that's how we're going to stay in the game. And even the Chiefs can't escape it. They don't have a Tyreek Hill anymore, so and Travis Kelce is like 30,000 years old, so it is what it is. But that is your Week 5 wrap up. Took a little longer, but that's okay. So with that, Christian, I wanted to first off, you said you had something you wanted to do, so I wanted to turn it to you and let you do that.
So all right, Jake. Well, as you know, the biggest news we got this week on Tuesday afternoon, we had the New York Jets pull the plug. Their owner, Woody Johnson. Okay, I want to call him Woody Harrelson. That's odd.
That's disrespectful to Woody Harrelson,
right? And so they have fired Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh was there for 3
years and 5 games.
3 years and 5 games. Was 26 and
20 and 36.
20 and 36. It was 20 and 36. So not here to defend Robert Saleh. Just off the top, not here to defend him. That's not a good record. I don't think he didn't have a winning record. Not all his fault throughout his tenure, but hey, it is what it is. But just to be clear, the Jets' problem ain't the defense. They were always a top 10, top 5 defense every year that he's been there, but I digress. So Jake, I want to give you a little quiz.
All
Now,
right.
Jake, this isn't. I'm not trying to trick you or anything, Jake. I just want this is open note. You can use AI. You can use Google, whatever you need to use. So I ask you a couple quick questions here, Jake, and yeah, don't be afraid. Just shout it out if you know it. Look it up. I don't care, Jake. What? Let's go back to last year. How did can you tell me how the Jets did last year?
They went, what, 7-10? Missed the playoffs?
First 5 games. Sorry, excuse me. Let me rephrase that.
First
How did they do in the
games.
first 5 games? What was their record in the first 5 games last year?
They beat the Bills.
They beat the Bills, yeah.
And I feel like they won one other game because I remember there was early on. They lost to the Chiefs, but I remember early on we were talking about Zach Wilson being like, hey, maybe Zach Wilson's got it. I'm going to say
You
two.
can look it up, Jake. You can look it up.
I'll say 2-3. I won't look it up. I'll say
2-3. Jake, you were correct. They were 2-3 last year. They beat the Bills in overtime. And then they lost to the Cowboys, Patriots, Chiefs, and then they beat the Broncos. So 2-3. Jake,
Oh,
what is their record right now?
It is 2-3,
It
Christian.
is 2-3. Noted. All right. Jake, can you tell me? You probably don't know this one, but can you tell me how many points they averaged in those first 5 games last year? Do you know?
Let me
I
go
got
through
the answer right here.
Let me go through the scores in my head. They scored 16 week 1. I think they scored 20 or something against the Chiefs. I'm gonna say like 17 or 18 points. I mean, it's a decimal, so I'll just say 17 or 18 points.
Okay, well, Jake, they averaged about 18.6
Nice
points per game last year. Do you know how many points they have scored, averaged out through these first 5 games?
Well, let's see. Week 1 they scored like 15 or 16. Week 2 they scored 24.
Yeah.
Week 3 they scored a lot. They scored like
scored
30 points or something like that. And then week 4 they scored like 9 or 10. And then last week they scored 17. So what is that? It's like 90 some odd points divided by 5. That's like 18 points.
18.6 again.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, and they're averaging about the same yards that they were last year. And so
wow.
just
So this offense is identical to last year's offense through 5 games.
Exactly, Jake. And last year I was told they had the worst quarterback play we have ever seen in NFL history. And all they needed to do was get Aaron back healthy, and it'd all be tip top. The weapons were good, defense is great, top 5, top 10, most and they're still getting the same results. I'm confused, Jake. What's happening here? Because I was told Aaron was supposed to save this, and it's not happening.
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers is not. Look. I don't want to defend. I will defend Aaron Rodgers a little bit. I think.
You go ahead.
And this really does kind of like to a degree. And I don't know how much of a role Robert Saleh plays in the offense. I know he's more of a defensive guy, so like, I don't really know who to blame here. But like, maybe it is Aaron Rodgers' fault. I don't know. But, like,
I wouldn't say it's all Aaron.
I'll
give him that.
This team. First off, the weapons aren't that good. Garrett Wilson is good. He's about as good as it gets. Your other weapons are just not that good. Their running game is non-existent. They have basically no running game, and so what you have is a team that does not have the infrastructure or really the coaching, because Nat Hackett, like, I don't think anybody has confidence in Nat Hackett as a play caller to support what is a very old and now kind of damaged quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. So, like, I mean, he threw the ball like 50 times against the Vikings. You can't. Aaron Rodgers is not good enough to do that anymore. You have Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball 50 times, you're going to get the result you got. Like, you need to help him out by running the ball, by having weapons around him. Maybe this is a reason to go get Devontae Adams. I don't know, but like, you know, I don't love the decision to fire. Firing Robert Saleh, it does feel like a move that a unstable franchise makes. But
especially after 5 games, what changed from last year to coming into this year? Like, nothing.
well, and what's also tough is, like, they haven't. If they go into, if they don't have to go, if they beat Buffalo on Monday night, which is very possible. I mean, the Bills are kind of reeling. They match up really well with the Bills. Josh Allen has always struggled against his defense, especially in recent years. If they beat the Bills, very possible, they're 3-3, and they're in first place in their division.
How about score a touchdown versus the Broncos? You'd be 3-2,
Yeah.
and at least if everything happens in London, so like he wouldn't be getting fired. And like, again, I'm not gonna defend him, but I just don't know what this is doing, what they're doing. Very confused. If anybody should have been fired, I think it should have been Nat Hackett as the offensive coordinator. I don't think he's following what Aaron wants to do, and I think what Aaron wants to do isn't what we see typically in the new and how offenses function in today's age, where it's a lot of motion and stuff, getting at least a little hint of what the defense is doing. And Aaron doesn't like to do that. Like, I think they do the least. I'm not fairly certain, but the stats people, they can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they do a whole lot of motion. They do like all the little dress up stuff to help him out. And it's just Aaron just wants to go on the line, and then he makes his checks or whatever. But it's just not working. Now, I will give the Jets credit. They gave their interim head coach to Jeff Ulbrich, their defensive coordinator, because I thought if Robert Saleh was getting fired, if you would have told me Robert Saleh got fired, I'm like, you're telling. So Nat Hack is going to be interim head coach. So thank God they didn't do that. I will give the Jets credit there.
Yeah, it just feels like if you're a Jets fan, and I mean, this is kind of like, you look at the Lions, and it's like the Lions have really done a good job of building your franchise and your culture the way you're supposed to. If you want to have long-term sustained success, you get a guy like Dan Campbell, and you have to hit on the coach. Like, sometimes you get a coach and it doesn't work. Dan Campbell in this case worked. Who can build a culture. They have a great offensive coordinator. They've been smart at drafting. They've been savvy with their free agent signings. They understand how to build a team. They've started at the offensive and defensive line and built outward. Like, they have done a lot of things right. The Jets haven't. Like, the Jets have talent, and it's cool, and they got some talent, but like, it doesn't feel like this team is cohesive. It doesn't feel like this team is well built or deep. And it feels like they're kind of looking at their roster and they're like, well, we got a really good defense. We got to take advantage of it. Let's just go get Aaron Rodgers. Let's go get, and it's impulsive decisions on impulsive decisions to try to artificially create a winning team rather than the organic way you're supposed to build a team. And they're shocked now that trying to build this team in this broken, artificial, haphazard way isn't working. And it's like, yeah, because that's not how you build a team. That doesn't work. And I just, I don't think Robert Saleh is I've always thought Robert Saleh was a better coach than I think most people thought. I don't think he's a great coach. I think he's decent. I do give him some credit for weathering the storm the past couple years.
Yeah, dude has had a lot to go
Yeah,
through.
and again, like that's also like there's a bit of a you're kind of grading a bit on a curve when you're coaching the Jets because not only is it not a great franchise, but you're also in New York, and I mean the Jets. They're going to be talked about all the time in one of the biggest media market maybe even in the world, or at least one of them, definitely in the United States. Like that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of stuff going on. He didn't draft Zach Wilson. Like that wasn't a him decision. That was front office, and he gets Aaron Rodgers, and he kind of has to placate to Aaron Rodgers, and whatever role Aaron Rodgers may or may not have played in this, we don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people are speculating. I know Aaron Rodgers is just offended that anybody would even dare ask whether or not that's possible.
The owner called him the Monday night. Now, he says it didn't come up, but look, maybe it wasn't said explicitly, but there has to have been some undertones of like, hey, I'm thinking about like, hey, how do you think the team's doing? No, I think we might need to go in a new direction. And Aaron might not have been like, oh, yeah, fire him. But, like, I bet, like, yeah, Aaron probably was like, yeah, maybe I think we could probably use some changes here. And then, Robert Saleh is fired the next day.
I mean, it's like, and I thought Kevin Wild, I listened to Kevin Wiles make this point, and it's a great point. You're either how are you 24 hours away from firing the coach, and you don't mention this to Aaron Rodgers? That's dumb. Or B, you're just lying. Like, either way, it's like, okay, you're either lying or you're dumb. Like, it's one or the other. So I mean, it's an impulsive decision. I have the Jets officially ranked as the second worst organization in football.
So, I mean, we'll see. Mike Vrabel, Bill Belichick ain't coming. I'm sorry, he ain't coming. But you can't get Mike Vrabel. We'll see
He's
how.
Also, Jeff a Patriots guy. He might not want to go there either.
Yeah, I probably won't either. I bet Bill's like, hey, you better not. If they call, do not pick up that phone, dude. But we'll see how Jeff Ulbrich goes. They got a game they got a division game, like we said, against the Bills on Monday night. So I mean, it's still. The balance is still in their hands. So, but yeah, it's just like the offense is what's killing this team, and I just don't understand. If anyone should have been fired, I think it should have been Nate Hackett. But we gotta make Aaron happy, so it is what it is.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say, this is Woody Johnson's out here talking about Hassan Reddick, and he's just like. I know this is just mind-blowing to me why Hassan Reddick is not in the building. Like, I've never seen anything like this. Hassan, you need to come, please. We'll escort you into the building. It's like, dude, you traded for him. You traded for a player that was looking for a contract.
And then you don't sign him.
And then you don't sign him to a contract. Like, and I don't know. I can't remember. I've been trying to find it. They may have offered him a contract, and he's just like, I want more money. And then they just didn't continue to negotiate, or so I don't know what happened. But like, it's not a mystery. Hassan Reddick's not. It's not like an enigma why Hassan Reddick is not
very open about it.
Hassan Reddick wanted to. He's like, I want a contract, and Philadelphia said, we don't want to give you a contract. He's like, then trade me. They're like, all right. And he goes to the Jets, and he's like, all right, great, I want a contract. And they're like, what? Like, what? Huh? What you mean? I don't understand what you're doing, Hassan. Like, y'all are dumb. Like, I don't know
why are you doing this?
So anyway, I did want to talk about the Browns briefly, the team that I do think has the worst organization in the NFL.
Well, they
I just
made your bed. You made your bed.
It's just insane. I mean, this is just. I mean, you have an unworkable situation at quarterback with Deshaun Watson.
I get it. The contract and all that stuff, it looks bad on the Browns, but at some point, you gotta call a spade a spade. It's not working. You owe it to this team. You are 1-4.
Well, but what's
the
dumb?
Ravens are my bad.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just saying, like the Ravens look like they're picking it up. The Bengals, I know they're 1-4, but Joe Burrow out here playing like an MVP. If only they could figure out their offense, they'd be solid. And then the Steelers are 3-2, but they're in that. I don't know what the Steelers are really. They're just there, and they got a few good wins. I mean, dude, you got to start picking it up. And I know Jameis isn't the ideal situation, but
Dude,
I think he's a good backup. Yeah, like he's a good backup. He's probably one of the better backups in the league right now.
He'd be better than Deshaun Watson. Like
he'd have a spark.
Would have
he gonna throw the ball down the field.
Like but the thing that annoys me is like again it goes back to the contract. Like, but you're getting to a situation. It feels to me like you're gonna end up in a spot where obviously like Kevin Stefanski can come out here all he wants and say Deshaun's our guy. We're moving forward. It's obvious. There's no way. I mean, this guy is a very smart person. He is the 2-time coach of the year. He saw what his offense was last year with Deshaun Watson and saw what it was after Deshaun got injured.
They made the playoffs with Joe Flacco.
And then now it's like you're 1-4. I mean, literally inept at offense. Cannot do anything offensively. They are right now. They're just kind of hint at the bet segment. They're getting like 9 points against the Eagles this week. The Eagles should not be 9-point favorites over anybody.
Yeah.
Are you gonna bet the Browns +9? I sure as shit am not. I don't know if this team can score. Like it's awful. It's bad, and you're getting to a point too where you gotta wonder if like the locker room is sitting there going, what are we doing? I mean,
yeah,
why are we like? We're gonna have to keep trotting this guy out here because we're giving him an absurd amount of money, and that's just ownership's like that's what we got to do. I mean, they did not even call Joe Flacco last year after the season was over because they know we can't have Deshaun Watson start playing bad and everybody going put Joe Flacco in. So they don't even call him back. Like it's all bad. It's all bad. And I want to ask you, what do you think the chances are? What are the chances that they fire Kevin Stefanski after this year? Because obviously it's an insane thing to do, but I feel like this is an organization that might do it.
I would be shocked. Now, I would be shocked. Like, especially what he was able to do last year with the revolving door they had at quarterback last year. Yeah. I'd be shocked if it goes like if it just they keep doing this where they win games here and there, but like they finish like 6. What's the math? 6-15 or whatever. 6-11. Oh yeah, that's too many games. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, I would be so shocked. I wouldn't know what to say. Like, that'd be a terrible fire. Unless you're trying to go get Bill or Mike Vrabel, get some like offensive minded head coach there. Yeah, I would not know what they're doing, but they need to get it fixed because this team made the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
and it's pretty embarrassing.
You can't fix it with Deshaun Watson. Like they're gonna keep losing games. It's all bad. So anyway, any other topics you want to talk about, Christian?
No, I don't think any other teams are really interesting that of note. I mean, shout out the Commanders, but yeah, man,
the Commanders. That's some fun stuff right there.
That is. It's something special. We're getting there.
All right. Well, I will turn it over to you, Christian. We have
Yay!
The Vibe rankings. Let me set this up for you all. So the Vibe rankings. All right. Well, let me try to see if I can get this to fade. Whew. All right. The Vibe rankings. This is Christian doing the rankings, doing the teams and tiers, but he doesn't do the tiers. That's the misconception, I think. They just kind of come to him. The vibes come to him. He blacks out and wakes up and he's got a fully created tier list. And that is what he's about to present. Sometimes I'm surprised. Sometimes even Christian is surprised by where the tiers end up. So without further ado, Christian, go ahead and take it away. What's the breakdown of your tiers this
All
week?
right. We got some new tiers here, those tier names, and then some shake up here and there, as you know. It goes week to week. So we'll start at the bottom here. New one. It's that need a QB change. And it's your favorites here. It's the Titans, Patriots, Browns. Titans did have a bye, but I mean, I feel like they still lost. So yeah, all of them need a change. Patriots are making that change. Drake May is getting the start. I don't know why you're giving him the start on the road versus the Tex. No, they're at home, but you know, a tough opponent coming in Houston. Um, I don't know why you're doing that there, but hey, it is what it is. So we'll get to see Drake May. Maybe he'll be have a spark for this offense. Titans Will Levis. Just every each game that goes by, I'm just like, this guy is not it. And then we just got done talking about Deshaun Watson should be benched, but management or contract or whatever is keeping him from not losing his job. Um, so yeah, there's that. Just above that tier, so the second to last one, we got not everyone wants to be a cat. If you know the Aristocrats from Disney movie, and we got the two cat teams here. We got the Jaguars. Shout out to them getting their first win. Trevor Lawrence's best game of the season, probably the best game since they went on that losing streak. So shout out to them. They do have another. They got a London game. I think he does well in London, so we'll see if they can get to 2 wins. Yeah, spoiler, I don't think they are, but it could be a good game. We'll see. And then the Panthers here, 1-4. Yeah, I mean they're just not a good team. Andy Dalton, their quarterback is they're just trying to, they're just hoping Bryce Young can develop sitting on the bench and levels up. So, all right, next one, we got ball up top. We got the ball up top. We got the Giants, Rams, and the Raiders. Giants starting to make a bit of a comeback. We'll see, 2-3 right now. Good win versus Seattle on the road. So shout out to them. Did it without Malik Neighbors. Had a 100-yard rusher with their running back. I think they got from the 5th round. I know he had that fumble, but he had like 170 yards or something like that. So good on them. Daniel Jones played really well. So that was a good, nice win on the Giants against Seattle. So hopefully they can, build upon that. The Rams, I know they're dealing with injuries, but it's just been so disappointing with the Rams this year. Hopefully they can pick it up. I think they have a bye week this upcoming week, so they can get a little healthier, and we'll be seeing back in full strength, and maybe they can they'll make a push late in the season to be in the hunt there. The Raiders, I don't know what's happening here. Like you said, Antonio Pierce, I'm not sure if he's a good head coach. We're having quarterback controversy. We're in week 6, like a third of the season's is gone. we need these issues sorted out weeks ago. And here they are. And they still got the Devontae Adams trade requests hanging above them. So that's a little funky. So the vibes aren't very great in Las Vegas. Just above them, I got the Hurts to watch. I got the Dolphins. Obviously, as you know, Tua being out, this offense is just atrocious. The Jets, because they're the Jets. The Saints, it's just Derek Carr did get injured versus the Chiefs. They are starting Spencer Rattler, so that's gonna be interesting. Hopefully, we see a spark from them. But yeah, and then the Steelers, just not very impressive. They can't run the ball. Justin Fields was getting a pass because he was winning, but now we're on like a 2 game losing streak here, and it's just, I mean, that defense is great, but yeah, it's just not. Vibes are like okay, they're just okay with the Steelers. The feisty. It's been here for a minute. I got the Cardinals, Colts, Bengals, and Broncos. Broncos been a bit of a surprise here. They're 3-2.
Their defense is really good. I mean, their
Yeah, Pat
defense has been
Surtain.
solid.
Yeah, been really good. Bengals
Bo Nick's up and down.
up and down, but he's been. I feel like I've seen bits of improvement here and there.
Agreed.
Bengals, Joe Burrow out here playing like an MVP. If only he could have a goddamn defense to stop somebody, and they'd be right in the thick of it in the AFC. But they're 1-4. They gotta dig themselves out of this hole. And Joe Flacco, doing his best out there. Um, um, but yeah, the Colts just Colts ain't winning this division, Jake. I'm sorry. And then the Cardinals, I'm not sure what to do with the Cardinals. They're
I
just
agree. The Cardinals are kind
I didn't
of weird. They're
like
like on
because
an ether
off
plane.
defensively they're bad, and then they do okay. And then offensively they're bad, and then they do okay. So I don't know what to do with the Cardinals.
It,
I
it it feels like a Kyler Murray special where Kyler Murray. Well, because Kyler Murray he does.
shout out Kyler. He's doing I don't know if he's doing a sponsorship or a partnership with Call of Duty that's coming
No,
out.
no, Kyler, stay away. You're going the opposite direction. Look, Kyler does this thing where I feel like he does just enough to pull you in, and then he goes on the road against, say, the Packers this week and just lays an egg, and you're like, oh, why did I buy into this team? Why did I buy into Kyler? Like, oh, but he beat the Niners. It's like he blew out the Rams. Like, I don't know.
Uh, yeah. All right. A little change here, but I had the bye week. Just a random pop up. Just shut up. I got the teams on the bye week. I didn't. I felt bad not moving these teams up or down. I didn't. I think I moved them slightly down. It's just the Eagles and the Chargers. Um, I just felt bad. I don't know where to put them, so I just put them in the bye week. I just made a little bye tier. Then just above the bye tier, I got figure this out. It's the 49ers, Seahawks, and Bills. Bills on a 2 game losing streak. Seahawks up and down here and there. Geno Smith isn't playing particularly well. It's like 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions I saw. And then 49ers, they need a kicker, and Brock Purdy, reel it in a little bit. I know you said you wanna break out this year. Reel it in a little bit. And let's get back to 49ers football. Just above them, I got Mike Jones. It's, what's the song? I had it before I did it. What's the song? I was like, back then they didn't know me. Now I'm hot. Now they all own me. Caleb Williams playing good. He's been getting better week in and week out. Great solid win against the Panthers. He is going into London to play the Jaguars. So that is going to be interesting to see how him and this team will handle the situation. I trust the Bears defense, so they should do pretty well. And then the Jags passing defense is atrocious. So I feel like he
Yeah.
should have another good game. Just play within the system, run the ball effectively, and you should get out of London with a win there. And then Tampa Bay, I know it sucks they lost that game, but I mean Baker Mayfield's been playing great. I think he's tied for this passing touchdowns. Like he's been
Baker's been
balling.
balling. I mean,
He's been balling.
really found a home in Tampa, which is cool. Also, Mike Jones, shout out Houston.
Yeah. Houston. So yeah. Bucks. I like the Bucks. I like the Bucks.
I do too.
These teams. I can't tell. Just above them. Packers, Falcons, Cowboys. I like the Packers more than I like the Falcons too.
I like the Cowboys also. I can't tell.
Cowboys are okay. Like,
Yeah.
props to them for that win against the Steelers. Like to not have a great game and Dak still to pull it out. It was great to see, and he's doing it without um not amazing players like Tolbert and
Rico Dowdle.
Dowdle and all them
Missing
all the
Micah and
boys.
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah.
And Brandon
So
Cooks out.
yeah, Brandon Cooks. Yeah. Thank you. So great win there. They're 3-2. So are the Falcons and the Packers actually, but yeah, I just can't tell. Like, I think I trust these teams. I think I trust them.
Yeah.
And then feeling good just above them, I got the Commanders, Ravens, Texans, and Lions. I think the one I sent you, I had the Lions in the bye week, but I think I'm feeling good about the Lions. I think they've been playing great. They just got a bye week. I know it sucks to get an early one, but is what it is. They got who they playing this week? Playing Dallas. Playing Dallas. All right, so we'll see about that. Maybe they get some revenge from that game last year. So they are on the road this time, but I'm feeling good. Feeling good about all these teams. Ravens are probably the one. Ravens and Texans. More so the Ravens. I'm a little shaky on just that defense. That defense is not what it's not it, man. This is not what the Ravens are about.
I agree. I feel like the Ravens they're getting a lot of love. And
I'm probably giving a little bit too much love.
I mean, I think they're gonna, I mean, I do like I'm saying this, and then I'm gonna probably pick them this week again. But like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like I don't know. It's like on one hand, well, I have my questions, but it's like, okay, but who else in the AFC are you like? They're better than the Ravens, and it's like, I mean, outside of the Chiefs, I don't know who else I would say. Like the Texans are about the only other team that I'm like, okay, maybe.
But CJ Stroud ain't look.
I mean, and they've been
going through a little sophomore slump. So
yeah, so I mean, I want to be skeptical of it, but I'm like, I don't really know. I don't really know what other team I would pick above them.
And then we got one more tier, and we got two teams in this one. If you've been paying attention, and still last two undefeated teams. Finally added someone up to the Chiefs level.
Ooh, congrats, Minnesota.
All right. I like the name. The name's not original, but I was like, I only like one of these teams, and it's the Vikings. Obviously, we talked about my disappointment with the Chiefs. I mean, hey, it wasn't pretty in London, but Sam Darnold made the plays when they needed him to make the plays late in that game. I like Kevin O'Connell, Brian Flores, and that defense has been pretty good. And so yeah, I mean the Chiefs. We know what the Chiefs are. Patty isn't having a great season. I think it's crazy that he's in the MVP vote. I think he has number one odds.
I mean, he's on an undefeated team, and I think that
that is getting carried. That undefeated.
The belief is that he is going to, as the season progresses, you're going to see him have. Oh, he had 3 touchdowns, no picks this game. He had 4 touchdowns and 1 pick this game.
Can I see it one game? Start doing it now.
We're going to get to the end of the year, and he's going to be like 36 touchdowns and 10 interceptions or something. I think is the belief.
I can't. We need to get there because
I agree.
I just don't like it. I just don't like it. But I like the Vikings. The Vikings, nice story this year.
Agreed. All right. Well, I like the list, Christian. It's a good list. I do have some disagreements. I don't know. The bye week one feels weird to me. I understand why you did it, but like the Lions being that low,
I moved them back up to feeling good.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they definitely deserve to be up there. So I was thinking about like how I would put a tier list together for the NFC, and my tier list would be right now. I think I would have the Vikings at the top as the only great team in the NFC. I think the second tier would still the Commanders. So I think you got that right. The other team, look, I'm sorry. I have 2 teams at the top. I have the Vikings and the Lions. Those are the only 2 great teams in the NFC. The tier under them, I'd probably put the Commanders and the 49ers. I know that they haven't looked great. I know that it's like put your stuff. I think the 49ers are just
This
a
is a
great
little
team.
tough love. Like,
I
you
get
know
it.
how I feel about the Niners, Jake. They're almost my NFC championship. They were almost my pick again.
I,
But
I do love the Niners as far as I don't love them. I hate them, but I have a deep respect for them. And I think they're still a very, very good team. The tier under that, honestly, probably you have it, I think, correct. I'd have the Packers and the Falcons. I'd probably put the Bucks in that
there.
class as well. I think the Bucks have shown they're definitely in that playoff group.
That's fair.
And then the tier under that, it kind of gets a little thick. I'd have probably the Bears. I'd have the Seahawks. I'd have the Cowboys. I'd have the Eagles. I'd probably have the Saints. And then that tier underneath, again, the Cardinals. It's like, where do you put the Cardinals? I don't really know where. I'd probably put them in a tier by themselves underneath there. And then the three teams at the bottom.
By themselves.
I'd put the Rams just because I believe. Maybe I'll put the Rams with the Cardinals. And then I put the Giants and the Panthers in the bottom tier. I don't believe in the Giants. I don't care if the Giants just got this win. Do not believe in them. So that's kind of how I would.
It was a good win, man.
But that's kind of how I would think about the NFC. Yeah, so I think you have the Cowboys probably a little too high. I would have I would probably switch them out with the Bucks. I know, it kind of affects the tier name, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
But I think, the Cowboys. I'm with you. Like I cannot bring myself to trust them. So anyway, good list though. I really like it, and it's unfortunate that we're getting close to some of these teams just not being relevant anymore.
Yeah.
It happens so fast. All right, well, I guess with that, we can get into Jake's best bets. All right, now.
How'd you do?
This is a day for mourning. This is a day for sad music to play. Mm-hmm. It was a tough day. It was a tough week. I went 0-5.
I think that's a first.
It happened one time last year.
Oh, okay.
One time last year, which, again, I still managed to have a winning season despite going 0-5 one week and I had like 6 weeks in a row where I had a losing week last year. Like I still got a winning record. So, like I'm not panicked. The season is young. I'm 10-15 right now. It's 10-10. It was a bummer. But
we're starting to, we gotta feel the month of September has ended, and now we're like, I think it's kind of our opinions are formed about what we think these teams will look like.
I do agree, and we're getting more information now. But that said, I will say this: I went 0-5 one time last year. I'm not panicked, but this to me was my worst week I've ever had. This was the hardest week because I feel like I made some really good decisions. I look at my bets and I go, I made great bets. Like I made great bets.
Yeah, Bengals plus 2.5.
And I'm gonna go through them. So first one, Bengals plus 2. No, you're good. You're good. Bengals plus 2.5. The Bengals were up by 2 possessions at 3 different points in that game.
Yeah. No, you should be. Yeah, you should.
Joe Burrow throws an interception. Justin Tucker does something he hasn't done in forever and kick a long field goal. They go to overtime. Lamar Jackson fumbles it. And the Bengals decide to just not try to gain any yards, run it 3 times, kick a field goal, and their holder can't hold the ball, and they miss. And leading up to that, the announcers will not shut up about how Evan McPherson's never missed over here. He's, like, perfect in this situation. He's made this many. This is crazy. And I'm just, like, sitting here saying, stop talking. Stop talking. Stop talking. Stop talking. And he misses it because of the holder. So that was 0-1. The Rams. The Rams plus 3. I also thought that was a great bet. I felt like the Rams outplayed the Packers for a lot of that game. They had a little bit of unluckiness with some special teams, and they just can't get a drive together at the end to win. They lose that game. I felt like that was a great bet, and I would make that bet again. It was the right side. Just didn't work out. I had the Steelers. The Steelers minus 2.5. Dak Prescott has no Brandon Cooks. The Cowboys defense is bad, and it doesn't have Micah Parsons. It doesn't have DeMarcus Lawrence. They have 3 turnovers. They lose the turnover battles 3-0. They have a blocked field goal. and they win that game. I just right there. Bengals plus 2.5, Rams plus 3, Steelers plus 2 minus 2.5. Those all should have been winners. Those all should have been winners, and they weren't. The Panthers plus 4, probably not a good bet. Like, I'll admit it. Like, it especially sucks because I took out the Texans for that one. Texans were a winner, so I'll say, Bears ascending, Panthers descending. Probably should have known a little better. And the Saints plus 6, I still thought it was a good side to be on. They just got beat. Like, it happens. Like, but again, like, I look at that, I'm like, this should have been a 2-3 or 3-2 week. And if I go 2-3, I'm bummed. I didn't win any of them. I didn't win a single one of these. Like, it was just an incredibly unlucky week. Now, I'm not complaining because it balances out, right? There's going to be a week I go 4-1 because I got lucky. I got really lucky with 2 of my bets, So it's just, I'm not changing any formula. I'm not reassessing anything. I look at these bets and I go, I was on the right side of most of these bets. Most of the time these bets hit. It was just a bad week for some of these, and I think it was just a really unlucky week that they all happened to hit in the same week against me. So I'm not panicked. I'm not changing anything. It's just an unfortunate week, but it's okay because we're going to have a couple good weeks. We're going to get a little lucky, and it's going to balance out in the end, so I'm not worried. So with that in mind, let's go into this week. Now, I won't lie. I do not like this week. This week is very
You've been
hard.
saying that for like
this week. I've had so last week I loved. The week before last I loved. The week before that I did not love. When I went 1-4, I was like, I don't have a feel for these games. I don't have a feel for a lot of these games. This is a weird week.
It is. I'm looking at these matchups,
and I'm going to usually.
That's Philly 9.5. That's crazy.
It is, and you should bet the Browns, but I'm not betting the Browns. I'm not going to tell you about the Browns. Like, that's insane. I'm going to do something a little different, though. I'm not doing this intentionally to, like, change up stuff. It's just how it falls this week. Usually I love picking underdogs. I love getting points. This week, I'm on a lot of favorites.
That's why I'm on a little, not to make this about me, but
you're good.
I haven't hit the last 2, so yeah, I'm like maybe I need to take a favorite instead of underdogs.
It's just some of these I think are just set up for prime. Now, really quick, I'll get into a favorite I love. It's a nasty one, Christian. It's bad. Patriots plus 7 against the Texans. Give me 7 points. At home, C.J. Stroud is not that great of a quarterback on the road. His home and road splits are crazy. Nico Collins might not play.
No, he's he got placed on injured reserve today.
Oh, I didn't see that. All right, so Nico Collins not playing.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon, we'll see what his status is leading up to game time.
And Drake, they're starting Drake
May. So.
And against the offensive line, offensive line.
I'm a little nervous about the Drake May factor, but the Drake May factor could also help. We see when new quarterbacks come in, you typically kind of even that. Remember Will Levis last year, his first start balled out. Just oh my gosh, how did Will Levis do? It just happens. Teams go to their backups, teams go to their first time rookie quarterbacks, and those rookie they sometimes have a good game.
I mean, they don't have a film. Well, I mean, they have like their college film and stuff, but like how they're gonna play in an NFL game, you don't know.
And
so that is
exactly, and it kind of gives everybody a little bit of a boost, right? Like this Patriots team that's kind of like lethargic, don't really have a chance offensively. Now you're getting this guy that you've been watching in practice can really sling it. You're gonna get a little bit of that.
You got some wheels.
Yeah, so I like the Patriots plus 7 here. You're just getting 7 points at home against the Texans team that's a little beat up. Hasn't been great on the road in the C.J. Stroud, DeMeco Ryans era. So I like the Patriots plus 7.
Okay.
All right. Here's another one I like. The Commanders going to Baltimore.
Oh.
Ravens favored by 6.5.
Okay.
I'm taking the Ravens minus 6.5.
Okay. Total is crazy. 51 point. They think this is gonna be a shootout. Which I mean,
it should be. Both these,
ain't great. And
I think this is. I know. Look, I feel really silly doing this, and if the Commanders hit, I'm gonna feel like a dunce because I'm gonna be 0-3 betting against the Commanders this year. I bet against them when they played the Bengals. No, I can't remember. Maybe, yeah, I think it was. I can't remember. I bet against. No, it wasn't. Oh, the Giants. It was. I bet against them against the Giants. I bet against them against the
It's the
Cardinals,
Cardinals.
and now I'm betting against them against the Ravens. But like, dude, we know what Baltimore does to teams in Baltimore. They destroy them. They utterly dominate them. The Lions last year, great team, NFC Championship team, got destroyed in Baltimore. The Bills just went into Baltimore, got destroyed. Like, the Commanders, Lamar Jackson is what he is against NFC teams. He's that way for a reason. There's a rookie quarterback going on the road playing a really good Baltimore team. This, to me, this feels like the peak. This feels like the time where the Ravens come in here and beat a rookie quarterback 35-17, kind of humbles this team. It resets our expectations on the Commanders, and the Ravens keep doing what the Ravens do. Like, if the Ravens dominate this game and go 4-2, I feel like everybody goes, oh, yeah, okay. I can see that, yeah. Like, so, I get the Commanders. There's probably value on the Commanders here. But that also tells me, like, 6.5 is insane. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot. And these teams aren't, like, it's not really, like, it's a road game. But, like, the Commanders are, like, I don't even, how far Baltimore is from Washington, D.C. It's like 45 minutes or something like that. Like, it's right there. So, I mean, they're right next to each other.
Okay, so no planes. They can just drive. That's okay.
Yeah, I think so. But I do like the Ravens here. I think they're going to blow them out. So, I got the Ravens minus 6.5. All right. Another favorite I like. I want to take the Lions minus 3 against the Cowboys.
Damn, I was thinking about that one too.
Yeah, I just
Yeah, I like that.
I
Lions coming off a bye. Cowboys struggling.
still banged up.
Lions, I bet they remember that. I bet they watched that game last year. I bet they.
Yeah, that game that they lost.
Well, they felt like they probably shouldn't have.
Well, you know, when you get lucky with some penalties before you do that, and then you have a penalty go against you, and then you make stupid decisions, you're gonna lose games. I don't know what to tell you. No, I just, it pisses me off when people are like, well, the Lions really did win that game. It's like, no, they didn't. They didn't win that game. They lost that game. They're gonna win this game. They're gonna win this game. They are the better team. I mean, is there
Dallas is 0-2 at home this year.
3-0 on the road?
That's crazy. Because
Christian, I want to ask you this. Can you tell me, name me an area on the Cowboys where they're better than the Lions? Maybe quarterback, maybe a little, probably a wash.
Probably not this year. But...
Yeah, I mean, probably a wash, if anything. Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, kind of a wash. Running game, Lions. Offensive line, Lions. Weapons, Lions. Defensive line, Lions. Linebackers, Lions. Secondary. Cowboys are supposed to have a good secondary, but they don't really this year, so Lions. Coaching, Lions. Like, they check every box, and they're off a bye. They're just a better team. Like, this is, to me, this is one of those where people trick themselves, and they're like, oh, Cowboys getting points at home. You got to take the Cowboys, the value. And it's like, or we can just be real about what these teams are and know that the Lions are probably going to win this game 27-17, something like that. It may not be pretty. The Lions are going to do what the Lions do. They're going to run it on the Cowboys. Cowboys aren't going to be able to stop it. It might be a low-scoring game, and maybe that gives the Cowboys a chance to keep it close and backdoor cover. But I'm going to take the better team, the team that's much better, coming off a bye, coming into a game very motivated, because I do agree with you. However I feel about that game last year, they think about that game last year. They feel like they should have won that game. They were probably the better team last year. I think they want to come in and prove a point to this team. And Dan Campbell, I mean, that's just who Dan Campbell is. You know, Dan Campbell's like, we're going to prove a point to these guys today. I like the Lions here minus 3. So that's my third pick. And then I won't lie, I really, huh?
That was your fourth one.
No, I have the Patriots plus 7, the Ravens minus 6, and now the Lions minus 3.
Oh, I thought you picked. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I will go. These two are kind of subject to change. That said, I feel like anytime I change these picks, they don't go well, so I should just probably keep it. I'm gonna go with the Saints plus 3.5. I like the hook
Who
at
thinks playing?
the Bucks. They got
Bugs.
Spencer
Okay.
Rattler starting.
Yeah.
I like, again, that same thing with the Patriots. You get that first quarterback start. My only concern is if the Bucks can stop the run, it's going to be a challenge for the Saints.
Yeah. Oh.
Man, I
Not feeling it. We want to change it. You can change it.
I want to go the Bucks minus 3.5, but I feel like I'm getting baited into the value play of picking the Saints, because I do think the Bucks should win this game. I mean, I think the Bucks are the better team. I think the Bucks are coming off extended rest, whereas give me the Bucks minus 3.5. We're going Bucks minus 3.5.
Bucks minus 3.5.
I can't. I'm not. The Saints, they're starting their rookie backup quarterback. I get that they're at home. I understand it. It's a division game, and it's on a short week, and they're playing a team on extended rest.
Yeah.
Come on, like I cannot take the team plus 3.5 under those circumstances. I'll take the Bucks minus 3.5.
Okay.
It's not the right pick. It's the square pick, but I'm gonna do it. And then my last pick, the last pick of the day. Give me the Packers minus 5.
Okay.
Give me the Packers minus 5.
I thought you would have stayed away from that one.
I want to, but again, I don't have a great. I'm just. It's a tough week. It's a really weird week. So, to recap, Patriots plus 7, the only favorite I'm taking. Ravens minus 6.5. Packers minus 5. Bucks minus 3.5. Lions minus 3. Some of these might be subject to change. I feel really good about 3 of them. We'll see how the Packers and Bucks pick ages as the week goes on. But those are my picks, Christian. What says you?
Yeah, no, I like your rationale for all of them, and I think you're doing. I know you had a rough week, but I think you'll get them right this week, Jake. Me, I'm on a 2-game losing streak. No, 3-game.
No,
Oh yeah,
2 game.
I picked. No, well. Oh yeah, 2-game. Yeah, I don't know.
You're 3-2. You're 3-2. You're 60%. You're 60%. You're a great week. You're at the spot I try to go every week.
Well, you're picking 5. I'm picking 1. I've been trying to pick the underdogs here.
Yeah.
Here, but I'm just having not been doing great. So I think I might switch it up, go back to what I know, and pick a favorite. I know you're not winning too much money about it, but I just want to get in the win column here, and then maybe next week I'll get a little crazy. There's a few favorites I do like. What are the better saying about the Colts Titans? I'm thinking Colt. I said I want to pick a favorite, but I don't know why Tennessee's favorite right now. I know they're coming off extended rest.
They were underdogs, and I think the line switched. I don't know if it switched because of Anthony Richardson getting the start, and they said, actually, the Colts should be underdogs now.
I thought Joe Flacco.
So, I don't know. You may double check, but I think the line is flipped.
Okay, I don't know, man. I'm gonna.
It's
I'm
a bad week.
I'm gonna stay away. I'm gonna stay away from that one. No, I'm gonna stay away from that one as well.
Stay away from them all.
Give me Atlanta minus 6.
Oh, man, dude, I thought about it. I'm like, the Panthers are getting plus 6 at home against a division rival. How am I not going to take them? But it's just like, dude, I have bet the Panthers 3 times this year, and I have lost all 3 of those bets. Like, I can't. I don't blame you. I don't fade the Panthers, and you're going to win money in the long run, like, at this point.
I mean, I was thinking Chargers Broncos, but I just don't like that one. I was gonna maybe Chargers -3. I just
Dude,
don't like it.
I'm thinking about the Chargers -3. I'm waiting for some more information, and I had a couple people I like are taking the Broncos, but like I really do like the Chargers -3. That's such a weird line. Like
Yeah.
they're getting -3 on the road. Like why? It's one of that. It's a sussy line. It's like that Ravens -2.5 a couple weeks ago. It's like,
Yeah.
why are the Ravens favored? Oh, because Vegas knew something we didn't. They knew that the value was actually on the Ravens because they were going to do what they did.
Also, maybe I was flirting with the Bengals -3.5 as well versus the Giants.
A lot of pros like the Giants in that one.
I don't trust it.
I
So
don't
yeah, I'll
either.
go with the Falcons -6.
I don't blame
I think they should. I mean, it's the Panthers. Like, come on,
Yeah, no, I don't blame
come
you.
on.
I don't
Let's
blame
get
you.
out to an early lead and we'll be good. So
All right,
Falcons -6.
all right. To recap, Patriots +7, Ravens -6.5, Bucks -3.5, Packers -5, Lions -3, and Christian is taking the Falcons -6. A lot of favorites. A lot of favorites. Feels weird. Not a fan of picking all favorites. I don't think I've ever
Yeah.
done this, so we'll kind of see how it goes. All right, Christian. Well, we've come this far. We've made our bets. We've showed our tiers. We've gone through week 5. We've talked about some games. It's time to make our week 6 predictions. Now, before we get into this, I do want to clarify something here. Um, I think you're really getting to a point now where we're seeing the league pick itself back up, right? All that ugliness in the first month of football. I think it really just goes to show you how like important the what you call it
Preseason
the
or
preseason can be to these teams being ready, and you get to slop your product in these first week. Now, this past week, we saw a lot of explosive plays. We saw a lot of passing yards. We saw a lot of we saw the game be what we thought the game has always been. So I'm excited about that. It makes me feel like that's what we're getting into now that we're kind of getting into that soft middle part of the season. So, yeah, with that in mind, Christian, we got a Thursday night matchup, another division
Good one.
rivalry. Yeah, Niners and Seahawks. Niners going to Seattle. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with the 49ers. Yeah, I mean, I like the Seattle. I think they can make the playoffs. I still believe in them, but not. I mean, it's just the same. You can say about the 49ers as well. Kicking issues, all that stuff, injuries here and there, and Brock Purdy playing well. Don't get me wrong, but still, there's some mistakes I want to clean up. He's being a little too careless with the football, but give me the 49ers. It does suck. They are 0-2 on the road. But I'm expecting a pretty close, tight-knit ball game, and I'm excited to see this one. So I will be watching this one. So, but I'm going to go with my Niners here.
I am also going to go with the Niners. Could you imagine if the Niners dropped to 2-4?
Nick Wright going to have a field day. Nick Wright going to have a field day.
All right, so we're both on Niners. How about we go to London? Another early game. We got the Jaguars playing the Bears. Christian, I think you spoiled it earlier with who you're going with, but who you got here?
Yeah, I was thinking about going with the Jags, but as we've been talking about, Caleb Williams looks like he's been getting better and better. And that Jaguars defense, especially pass defense, isn't great. Continue running the ball and and let Caleb make the plays when he needs to. But yeah, and then play great defense, which I mean the Bears have been doing. So give me the Bears here.
Oh, picked the wrong button there. I'm going with the Jaguars. I'm going with the Jaguars for.
I think they play.
Jaguars.
I think he does. I think Trevor does too, pretty well. I think the Jags get to stay in London. I think they have another London game the following week.
Is that real?
I think so. Let me see. Yeah, they play the Patriots in week 7.
What? Why do we give London? We're like all
because
about.
I think their owner has something to do with this.
I'm more annoyed at the fact that like we want to build the NFL wants to build a reputation internationally, and it's like, let's send over absolute garbage fucking games. Let's send over the Jaguars and Patriots. Like, dude, nobody's gonna watch. Nobody's getting up early to watch that game.
Unless you're a team like a fan of these teams.
Last year, they sent over the Chiefs Dolphins. That's the kind of matchup you should be sending over to.
That was in Germany.
But in general, like in Europe.
I thought the Eagles Packers game, I think that was
in Brazil.
That was pretty solid. Yeah, that was in Brazil.
That was a good game. Like, even this game, like, I mean, I know the Jaguars have been very disappointing this year, but ideally, this is a pretty good game. You got a young budding star in Caleb Williams. You got a Jaguars team that a lot of people thought was going to be good. Now it's a little iffy, but I just stop sending bad teams over. Like, we knew what the Patriots were going to be this year. Stop sending bad teams to London. All right, I digress. Commanders and Baltimore. I'm obviously going the Ravens here. I think the Ravens are going to win big.
Yeah, Ravens here. It's going to be interesting to see how these defenses are gonna play.
I will say this: I'm not going to come in here with like an "I told you so" about the Commanders if they do lose. I love the Commanders this year. I have full belief in them. I love what they're building. And I still expect them to probably win this division. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think they should. If they get blown out, I don't think they should get harsh criticism.
I mean, it'll come. It always does. It's like, oh, are they not as good as we thought? It's like, well, I just, I have total faith in them in the long term this year. It's a tough matchup for them. Going into Baltimore's tough for anybody, especially if you're an NFC team. All right, Cardinals, Packers. I'm going Packers.
Yeah. Pack Nation, baby, let's go.
It's the kind of game Kyler Murray lets everybody down in. Like, you finally have faith in them, and then he goes in and loses
Rips
to the Packers.
Out.
Yeah, so I think Jordan Love's coming together. I don't think the Cardinals' defense is that good. I think the Packers are going to be able to just pull away from this. Backdoor, as far as a bet, makes me concerned, but I don't think the Packers, just score-wise, will have any problem winning this game. Texans, Patriots. Texans going on the road, playing Drake May in his first start in New England. Who you got?
Not going to be pretty, but I'll take the Texans.
Christian, what have I told you? I'm picking the upset and going the Patriots.
Yeah, the Patriots.
Picking the
upset. You think that defense is going to shut them down?
Maybe.
I mean, he has been playing well. Like you said, they've been struggling on the road. They're 1-1 on the road this year.
And they weren't good last year on the road either.
So, I don't hate it, but I'm gonna stick with the Texans. I just think they're the better team. Now Drake May could give them fits. They haven't seen him on tape, so it's gonna be they're gonna learn. We'll see.
How about Jaguars? How about Buccaneers traveling to New Orleans? Buccaneers coming off a Thursday night loss rather, but on extended rest. Saints coming off a Monday night loss. Big rest advantage for the Bucs. Saints starting a backup quarterback. Who you got?
I'll take the Buccaneers. I think you said, extended rest. Spencer Rattlers is playing. I think their offensive line's a little banged up too for the Saints. But yeah, give me the Bucs here. Division game, gonna be close, but I think Baker and them will get it done.
Yeah, and I know they're on extended rest, but the Bucs did play in overtime. They played in overtime for 4 plays. It was a very quick overtime.
Yeah.
So, and I digress.
Baker didn't even touch the ball.
All right, so Browns traveling to Philly. Browns we talked a lot about earlier. The Eagles coming off a bye week, getting healthier, getting A.J. Brown back.
Okay. Yeah.
Who you got here, Christian?
I'm going to take the Eagles. I mean, Deshaun Watson is playing, so they're not going to do well. And A.J. Brown, I mean, they need him, obviously. Is Devontae Smith coming back as well?
I didn't want to say. I think he is, but I can't remember. I didn't want to speak.
I mean, look, it helps. A.J. Brown coming back helps a ton. Yeah,
A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith were full participants in practice today.
That should be all the advantages they need.
So here's the thing about this game. I'm going Eagles. I'm going Eagles. The Eagles are going to win this game. But the Eagles got to blow out the Browns.
They don't blow out
the Cowboys. blew out the Browns. The
They did.
Giants, I don't think they blew them out, but they beat them very convincingly. And the Commanders blew out the Browns. If the Eagles even play a close game with the Browns at home, off a bye week, getting healthier, what are you doing, Philly?
It was when the Giants played. It was 21-7, going into the fourth quarter, and the Browns get a touchdown there early in the fourth, made it 21-15, and that was the final score. So it wasn't all great, but I mean they did score. They scored the 21 unanswered. It was 7-0,
and then the Giants put it on them, and then just kind of chilled.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Eagles at home, off a bye, healthier. You gotta beat the brakes off this team. I do not want to see a 17-14 game against the Browns. Do not want to see that. Even if you
do it. Don't do it.
You need to cover this spread. You need to blow them out. If y'all are really the team everybody keeps telling me y'all need to win this game 28-10. 28-10. That's what I want to see.
That's what he wants to see.
That's what I want to see.
Better do
And
it.
if you don't, I'm going to come on and talk trash about you. All right. We got the Colts at the Titans.
Give me the Colts.
You're going Colts?
Yeah, the Anthony Richardson news plan gives me a little bit of pause, but the Titans aren't good.
Oh, I think
So
I can hear
I'll
you
give
barely.
the slight edge to the Colts.
I can hear you barely, Christian, but I think I lost your audio.
I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? Oh, that's weird.
Is it me?
I can hear you barely.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
I can't hear you, Jake. I don't know why.
I'm getting audio. This is weird. Anyway,
I can't hear you, but you can hear me, right?
ever so slightly.
I don't. Should I leave and come back, or?
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Okay.
While we wait for Chris. I don't know why audio. Well, it's showing my audio still picking up. There we go. Sorry about that. My apologies. Yeah, I'm going with the Colts for this game. I'll go ahead and talk while we wait for Christian. But I like the Colts here. I think the Colts are probably the better team than the Titans. I don't know what's going on with the Titans and their. You know what? I'm a little wiffly waffle today. I'm going to go Titans. I'm picking the Titans. They're at home, division rivalry. I think the Titans will get it done against the Colts. Yeah, I don't know how much I trust the Colts in this situation. Move on to the Chargers and the Broncos. I like the Chargers straight up here. I know it's in Denver, but I just love what the Chargers are doing under Jim Harbaugh. I think at some point, Bo Nix gonna have to come back down to earth. I think this is the game to do it. So give me the Chargers, and I think the Chargers will improve to 3-2, and the Broncos will be 3-3, and I think that'll be a really good spot for the Broncos, given kind of what our expectation was for them this year. All right, moving on. We got the Steelers coming off back-to-back losses, tough, brutal losses against the Colts and then the Cowboys at home, traveling across the country to the Raiders. Very historic matchup. The Raiders and the Steelers, big historic matchup in the 70s. Basically, both these teams just ran the AFC for a decade. John Madden with the Raiders and all the Hall of Famers that the Steelers had on their team. It's always a pretty grimy, ugly matchup when these teams play. I'm gonna pick the Steelers. I trust the Steelers more in this game. I think that we will add him.
I still can't hear you,
Hey,
Jake.
can you hear
I'm
me
sorry. No.
You still can't hear me. Oh, I can hear you. Well, unfortunately, I think we're just gonna have to cut this stream early then and figure out these technical difficulties. But it was fun chilling with y'all. We'll give our final picks. Christian, if you want to, I'll text Christian really quick.
Here, I'll put the remaining games that
I'll finish out here. I'll go.
That I had.
Yeah, I'll finish up here. I'll go Chargers. I'll go Steelers. I'll go Falcons. I'll go Lions. I'll go Bengals, and I'll pick an upset in the Jets. Those are my picks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, can I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the remaining games I got the Chargers over the Broncos. Tough divisional game there, but with a slight edge to the Chargers. That defense, I am scared of that Broncos defense. That they can do against the Chargers, but I'll just take a better. The quarterback really is the deciding factor there. I'll take Justin Herbert over Bo Nix. He should be healthier coming off a bye. So yeah, give me the Chargers there. Steelers, Raiders. Which one did I pick? Did I pick the? I'm going with the Steelers. Yeah, just no big faith on either of these teams. I'll take a little bit more of the stability with the Steelers over the Raiders. Steelers do have a good defense. So yeah, slight edge to the Steelers there. Lions, Cowboys, America's Game of the Week. I'll take the Lions. I think we already talked about that where I was going. So yeah, give me the Lions there, and then Falcons, Panthers. With my bet there, no shocker here. I'm going with the Falcons. Kirk Cousins had the rest on Thursday. I mean, he threw 500 yards. Panthers shouldn't be too much of a problem. It is still a divisional game, but yeah, give me the Falcons there. And then the Sunday night game on NBC/Peacock. Give me the Bengals here. I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to say there. Just I'll take Joe Burrow over Daniel Jones. And then the Monday night with the Bills versus the Jets. Maybe the Jets could be inspired by their coach's firing. We'll see how the interim coach goes there. I forget his name. I think it's Jeff. Is it Jeff Ulrich? I think. But yeah, I'm still going to take the Bills there, and Josh Allen. So yeah, that's it. And we do not get to see the Chiefs, Rams, Dolphins, and the Vikings. They're all on a bye. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure what happened.
Oh, hey, can you hear me now?
Nope.
All right. Well, apologize for the technical difficulties, but we'll figure it out. But yeah, have a great week, and we'll post any of our final bets or anything on our our YouTube channel. So until next time, take care. We love you, and I hope your team wins, unless they're playing mine. So take it easy, everybody.
Peace. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I hit something on my end.